What's up, guys? Got another video for you here today. This time I got a good old collection update for you. See, Chrono is creeping above my head like it usually does. This is all extreme metal, Black Death and Thrash exclusively, and then I have another one that's going to be power folk, traditional metal, and like Neofolk and synth stuff. It's going to be a good video for that one as well. But for now, Chrono says hello. Fauna is upstairs doing whatever it is. We are listening to Fatuous Rump in the background. I've been on a huge brutal death metal kick. Come on, buddy. Oh. Loud mouth. Huge brutal death metal kick. Lots of slammy stuff. Just basically the most chuggy, most groovy, absolutely disgusting slam you can get a hold of. And we're drinking a Tatra Strong malt Polish beer. Very good stuff. I don't feel like putting it into a glass, so we're going to deal with it out of a can today. No zdrowie. Crow's being pushy. He hasn't seen me all day. I just got home from work, so he's being clingy. Fauna's very similar to this, but she's napping right now. So, all right, that's enough cat talk. All right, Crow, stay there, buddy. So, first thing I got is 2 tapes. I don't talk a lot about tapes because they're not my preferred format by any means, but they are very good nonetheless. Heliophobia, I believe is how you pronounce it. This is Her Holy Temple Defiled. This is a 2022 release from this Ohio-based death metal project. Absolutely sick stuff. Old school death metal. I got this sent to me by the band. The homie Goatman is the main proprietor of this band, on a nice blue tape, and also out on his label that he does himself, which I get down with. So this is like old school death metal with some kind of brutal-ish tinges to it, and as you notice, it's a pretty black metal aesthetic to a lot of this, and then this painting on the cover. I think this is limited to 200 copies. If you guys don't know this, go check this out. Heliophobia, Metal Miners, both of you, I think you dig this. A lot of my buddies on YouTube here would dig this. So yeah, Heliophobia. Next tape. This is a band that I blind bought off of Discogs. I ordered 2 CDs that are going to be in this update, and I think one's in this one, one's in the other one. Something like that. And I blind bought this because it was like $2 and another 50 cents for shipping. I didn't know what it was, but it is Vasaphor Maladiction. This is a blackened death metal band. The location of their homeland is escaping me currently, which is kind of annoying because I literally looked it up right now, or right before I started making this video. But yeah, I don't remember. But it's like some pretty noisy Black Death. It's pretty much war metal with a little bit more riffage to it. You know, a lot of that war metal stuff doesn't have a lot to like grasp yourself onto. It's not the most catchy genre in the world a lot of the time. This has some riffage to it, which is really, really cool. But yeah, definitely go check this out. This is Vasaphor, Vassafor. I'm not putting links in the description unless I'm shouting out one of the homies' channels, so you can look it up. You're an adult. Next, let's get some thrash in here. This is Darkness Descends by Dark Angel. You absolutely got to have this one in your collection. It's absolute stellar, more on the aggressive side, classic thrash metal record. I mean, come on. So it's got the whole regular record on it, as well as a live set. 2 live sets, one from 88 and one from 89. It's super, super good. You know, it's angry. It's just boatloads of fun. I'm missing Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel this week because I'll be out of town for work, and I'm very, very salty about it. So, yeah, Dark Angel, nothing new here. Crow. He's obsessed with my lap today. Next, I've had this one lying around for a little while. What a nuisance. Clandestine Blaze, Night of the Unholy Flame. Absolutely stellar black metal. It's very Dark Throne. It's very, you know, check this out. We like Norwegian black metal. You would really kind of expect that. It's got some of that Finnish melodicism to it to an extent, but it's mostly just a lot of Dark Throne style riffs, a lot of more aggressive and raw black metal stuff. Did I say this is a Finnish band? Because if not, it is. Pretty interesting. I've heard lots of people digging on this, so I had to check it out. This one, another black metal record. I've yet to get the sticker off the front, which is infuriating. But this is Geist Fiert, something like that, by Froststrike. This was a blind buy at the exclusive company. It was cheap. It was like maybe $4 or $6. I looked in the metal archives and it said post black metal, and I liked the kind of water painted ravens in like a twilight sky cover. It's pretty good. I wasn't really in a post black mood when I listened to this record. It's from 2013, by the way, so it didn't like hit that spot like I wanted it to. I don't listen to a ton of post black metal, though I do like it, which is weird because I listen to a ton of atmospheric black metal. So yeah, it kind of has some of the atmospheric tinges of most post black metal. Definitely has a lot of the prettiness that you would expect out of this kind of genre. Not a ton of the DSBM-ish elements that you kind of get with a lot of post-black, but it's nonetheless a great record by Froststrike. Next, the new Consecration album. You absolutely gotta get this one, guys. Absolutely awesome. I showed this a couple videos ago because I was listening to it in the background of a video, but this is Liam over at the Death Doom Metalhead. His new record, his band's new record out on Redefining Darkness, which congratulations, boys. That's friggin' impressive. Good for you guys. But man, this is a straight up bone crusher of a record. This one, you hear the slam in the background? This is heavy. But this stuff here, man, absolutely dominating, you know, the earth cracking beneath your feet levels of heaviness. It's really, really great. It's catchy. The production sounds killer. The riffs are great. The melodies are incredibly tasteful. Obviously, it's going to be on my end of the year list. We'll see how high it gets because who knows how it's going to be. I have a couple hunches, but not sure yet. But Consecration, go check that out. Next, this is Permanent Winter by Persecutor. Persecutor is a blackened speed metal or blackened heavy metal kind of band from Romania, which I don't have many Romanian records in my collection. Is this Romanian or Bolivian? Romanian, duh. It says Romanian ice metal in big letters on the back. So yeah, it's kind of sleazy rock and roll, blackened heavy metal, blackened speed, kind of midnight-ish, but a little bit more hard rocking. I would say rather than Midnight's more sleazy, punky stuff, this is a little bit more rock and roll, you know. It's really cool. The melodic choices are a little out there. I could say that for sure. It's definitely fun. It's not a style that I listen to constantly, and if I usually have a hankering for this, I go for Midnight or Bewitcher. But it's great. It's good to have in the collection. It was at the exclusive, and then it was there again the second time I left it. So I figured that was my cue to put it in the cart. Next, this is Farty Logan with Luft. Another issue with the sticker, whatever the exclusive was doing, is irritating me. This was a blind buy out of Funeral Industries. It is a Neofolk project with some very, very pretty aesthetics of the Swedish wilderness. Absolutely great aesthetics. The music, I have mixed emotions. It's a little too rocky for my Neofolk. It's like a Neofolk rock. And I'm a big folk rock guy, but it has a lot of like, it reeks of hipster, if I'm going to be blatantly honest about it. It reeks of hipsters, which is not necessarily something that's going to keep me away entirely, because I do like some of those kind of bands, but I don't really, it didn't hit the spot for me yet. So I'll keep it around, and I'll give it a couple more listens and see what's going on. Maybe I'll give it to someone, or maybe I'll wind up liking it. Let's hope for the best, right? Next, some black metal from this year, Piercing Through the Frozen Eternity by Moonlight Sorcery. Absolutely great cover. Look at that friggin' thing, man. Got to love it. This is an EP from this year. I pre-ordered it off think it was Bandcamp, or maybe, I think it might have been Amazon. It's too good. It's so good, it's not even funny. It's melodic, it's very Emperor-esque, maybe a little bit of like early Enslaved here and there, and some of that Vargrov kind of just melodic tastefulness. This is a really, really stellar EP from this year. I'm probably going to include EPs on my end of the year list because I want to. I don't really care. It's going to be great, and I'm very excited for it. So far, I wouldn't say this year's been as amazing as 2021 has. 2021 was. I mean, we got new Wolves in the Throne Room, a new Panopticon, and a new Can Bard all in 1 year. So it's hard to size up to that. Next, another Neofolk album. This is The Scars of Man on the Once Nameless Wilderness Part 1. Actually, this part isn't Neofolk. This is like Panopticon being a little more slow and kind of dark metal, if you get what I mean by saying dark metal. It's really melancholic and melodic, and it's really well done and smart, which is something I really do appreciate about it. It's a lot different atmospherically than a lot of Panopticon. It's not so intense. It's definitely relaxed a little, and it's not as folky as some of the earlier couple records. But you guys have all heard this. I mean, this is 4 years old already, this record? Whatever. There's another Neofolk record, so I'm going to skip ahead. Usurper with Necro Nemesis. This is a Chicago-based black and thrash, kind of black and death metal band. It's formed in the 1990s, I believe. And this is, their record from the year 2000. It's not the coolest thing in the world that I've ever heard. It's entertaining, kind of pretty enjoyable. It has some really death thrash moments. So it's a really nice homogenization of all the kind of black death and thrash styles. What's really cool is on one of these tracks, I think it's the title track, Necro Nemesis, but I don't remember entirely. King Diamond does guest vocals on this record, which is wild because I wouldn't think of that on this kind of a record. I picked this up in a big lot with a whole bunch of power metal off of Discogs. I don't know, I found a guy who had some really cheap stuff and some records I've been looking for, so I'm really, really glad to have gotten this in the collection. I'll probably wind up listening to it a few more times and enjoy it more than I do. Let's get on this black metal train. Black Braid with Black Braid 1. This is a new record from 2021, or 2022, sorry. Absolutely great. Melodic black metal, kind of like what Pan American Native Front has been doing, but less war metal and a little bit more melodic. It's got mostly just thematically and aesthetically they're pretty similar groups, just being the Native American theme. But this has a lot in common with maybe some of the Satyricon stuff, like Nemesis Divina era, but it's not so folky. It's more tinged on the more aggressive side of the black metal spectrum. It's really, really good. I'll give a much more in-depth talk about this come the year-end list because it's going to be on there. This is The Ancient Pulse by Naturin, speaking of Native American-themed bands. I picked this up when I got the Panopticon Collapse reissue that I showed, probably my last vinyl update. I forgot I ordered all these with them. This is a full-on Neofolk record, and it is absolutely stellar. It's got some distorted guitars here and there, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple of weeks since I put this on the player, because I've had it for a little while. Out on Bindroom, it's N Nordvis, as you would expect from Naturin. Their new record from this year is also stellar. You'll be hearing me speak about that later. Yeah, it's really well put together, beautiful atmospheric acoustic music. Next, another 2022 release. This is The Wolves Howl to the Moon by Vampiric Rights, or it's properly spoken as Vampiric. This is an Ecuadorian raw black metal band that is not so raw these days. They really hopped on that Lamp of Murmur kind of vampiric Bandcamp black metal thing that has been tearing up the scene lately. But this one, you know, they kind of had the Satanic Warmaster Fimbulwinter syndrome, where they're getting a little bit more clean production with the same exact style. And honestly, I think it works better. I like this more than any of the Vampiric Rite stuff I've ever heard before. It's very enjoyable. It's very fun. Kind of grim, pretty grim, but the clean production really lends its hand towards a more accessible sound rather than a more cult and aggressive sound. Really good record. All right, I'm trying to not show like only black metal, but that's like all that I friggin' have left. Here's I'll do a couple more black metal and then I have two non-black metals. This is what I got with the Vasaphor tape or whatever, Vasaphor. This is Throssenblatt. Mechtopnia, something like that. I've been wanting a copy of this for years. It's been in my want list on Discogs forever. And I downloaded it on Spotify and listened to it at work. And I was like, all right, well, I don't care what I got to pay for it. I'm buying it. I pay up to 20, 25 bucks easily for it. But I got it for like 15 shipped. Absolutely great record. Melodic, clean vocals all over the place. Obviously, this is the band made out of the leftovers from Woods of Ypres, which it makes sense. Like, this is a lot of that kind of black metal remnants that were left in the band. It had to have been all from these guys, because it seemed like Dave Gold really changed up the style, which I love Woods of Ypres, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But it's a great record. I'm glad to see these guys were still making music, and that's one of the coolest covers in my collection. I would love to get it on vinyl just so I could stare at it. Chronos is being a hazard. Don't know what he's doing. He's getting behind the TV, just what I always love him to do. Next. This is a Chilean black metal project called Evangelion. This is a promo that I got in an order from, what's the name of the place? I think it was Paragon Records I got this from. They tossed it in with an order that I made, and it's pretty good. It's pagan black metal done in a very, very European style. You could tell me this band was from Finland, and I would have absolutely believed you 100%. It's good. So it's a collection of songs from 2005, 2010, 2016, and 2006. It's really, really varying in quality. Some of it's really raw, some of it's really well produced. Some is clean vocals, some is more Norse core style. It's interesting listen. I think it's a cool thing to have in the collection. I don't listen to a lot of promos, but I brought it in the car just because I felt I needed to give them a shot. So I'll leave it at that on there. All right, one more black metal record, and then we'll do... No, thrash record. Sodom, Code Red. I don't even remember where I got this point. It's been a little while. But I'm really just trying to fill in my Sodom collection entirely. And I needed it. It's everything you'd expect. It sounds kind of like Tapping the Vein. It kind of sounds like everything that came after it. It's Sodom. It's a great record. It's fun. This one's out on Drakkar Productions. This is like probably their most known lineup, aside from the classic lineup, I would say. It's good stuff. Next. Summoning, Nightshade Forests, their EP from 1999 or 97, I don't remember, I think it's 97, but this is a long EP, it's almost 30 minutes long, and it's incredibly enjoyable. I really love this record, EP, I guess you could probably put it in like a ranking if you really wanted to. Maybe I'll do that at some point, Summoning ranking, but it's hard because a lot of them are very samey style-wise. So it's tough to rank them. It's mostly going to be like emotional connection at that point. But Nightshade Forest is a great EP. It's more of a continuation. I think this came out between Dol Guldur and Stronghold, maybe? I don't know. Summoning's great. Next, we got the new 2022 album, Key to a Vanishing Future by Falls of Raurus. These guys have been listening to lots of prog, and I can tell because it is all over this. I don't know why they left Bindroom. It's not really my business, but it's interesting to see how they've changed since they did. The last two records have been a way different sound for them. Maybe that's why they left. It's great. I really, really dig it. It's going to be pretty decently high in my year-end list. I'm going to have to sit down and listen to this a couple more times because this is a digester. This is a slow burn, and it's really good. Alright, I got one more 2022 release here to show. So, this is the 3 albums by a band called Slytherin. Slytherin is a California-based atmospheric black metal band. Their first record here is When the Darkness Comes, then A Tale Will Tell of What Hath Been, and then the new one, which is Tales of Hogsmeade Village. This is all Harry Potter themed black metal. It is incredible. This new album is really, really, really awesome. I'm a huge fan of all 3 of these, but it's epic. It's got lots of summoning-ish tinges, but it's got a lot of other ideas going on. A lot of, like, maybe the Ukrainian black metal sound. It's tasteful. There's movie samples. There's covers of, like, John Carpenter stuff. Not John Carpenter, sorry. John Williams covers, you know, because he did the music for Harry Potter, and they did a really, really great track. A really, really good version of, what is the name of the song? The Chamber of Secrets on this record. Like the iconic Harry Potter music. It's great. Go check out Slytherin and this new record if you haven't. Next. This is Earthborn Evolution by Beyond Creation. This is a stellar Canadian death metal record. I listened to this yesterday in the car, and I was like, wow. This is probably the best tech death band I know. And it was incredible. I enjoyed the crap out of it. There's nothing to complain about. Maybe it's a lot of wanking. I would like a little bit more vocals maybe, but these guys actually know how to write songs. Unlike a lot of tech death guys, I mean, they have guitar chops for days. It's better than I'll ever play guitar. But, like, they really don't. Maybe they should spend a little less time working on their chops and, like, I don't know, studying songwriting or something. But these guys know what's going on. These guys can really, really, really use tension and release and some dynamic stuff really, really well. Beyond Creation. Last, Temenzor with the album Horizons. I have been wanting a copy of this forever. I have a dub tape version of it in my closet over there on my tape rack for years now. But, like, I got into this back when Count Blagareth had long hair. So it's been some time that I've liked this band and not owned this disc. So I'm really glad to get it. I grabbed this, I think, where did I get this? I think this is also off Paragon Records with the Slytherin record. The Slytherin Records. It's folky black metal. It's absolutely great. It reminds you of Storm. It sounds like Goat Moon, things like that. It's folky and lots of clean vocals. That's my big thing. I really like them. This is the best Temenzor record as well, and one of the best covers in the collection again. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this installment here. I got another update to film. I don't know if I'm going to do it today or not. I feel like I've been yammering for a while. 23 minutes. I mean, come on now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Keep it greasy.